Hey, welcome in. It's the Arrowhead Addict Chiefs halftime show. Bengals 14, Kansas City 10. Got ourselves a ball game here, fellas. Let's get some thoughts on the first half. We're under the gun. We don't have a ton of time here, so Verderam, kick us off.
Look, they have to continue to run the ball. They've given McKinnon 5 carries, Pacheco 6 carries. I mean, obviously 2 of them there right at the end of the half. You've got to run the ball. You've got to run even more. Like, you've thrown 14 times, you've run 13 times. Granted, one of them is a scramble, but I think overall, like, you're averaging 5.3 yards right now throwing the ball. It's terrible. You're averaging 7.2 running it. Run it. Run it right down their throat. They've shown you no ability to stop it. You're eating clock in a game where defensively you're hanging on by the absolute fingernails you got on. I think if you're the Chiefs right now, you've got to lean on Pacheco and McKinnon. They've had no answer for it. They're playing these light boxes. They're dropping everybody out. And when they blitz, you got the opportunity to hit them for a big one. So I think that on the offensive side, look, defensively, I mean, two thoughts. One is I just the penalty. Look, I'm not going to get into the whole I don't want to hear one person about it's fixed. It's right. Like, look, it's not that. The McDuffie call is soft as hell. Like, McDuffie did not interfere with him. I know he had his hands on him. Guys have their hands on the receivers every single play in the NFL. It's a bad call. It flipped the game. That said, other than that, the defense has to get more pressure up front with 4 guys. And the two safeties, one of which who couldn't stop running his mouth earlier this week. Can you do anything? I mean, both of them with missed tackles. I mean, my God, get in there and make a play. Do something. Lastly, Carlos Dunlap, biggest play he's made as a Chief. I mean, he doesn't make that play, that kid's walking in. So it's a huge turn of events. Chiefs should be very, very happy with the score considering the way that game went early.
Sterling?
Yeah, I think that's the best point. The Chiefs should be lucky to be only down 4 and getting the ball to start the second half. They had to convert a play on 4th and 4. They had a couple penalties go against them, but the refs aren't the ones forcing them to not tackle. You mentioned Justin Reed, Juan Thornhill. Come on now. Come on. It's brutal. You can't be talking smack and then have Samaje Perine stiff arm you into the ground like it's Derrick Henry. That's Charmin Ultra Soft. I think they need to run the ball more. I think Andy Reid, to an extent, after that first drive or two, decided, all right, we are going to run the ball more, and it's been more effective.
They've been under center, and there's been opportunities, especially when they've got McKinnon on the field. Both backs are running well, but the Bengals think when McKinnon's out there, the Chiefs are passing the ball. In the first half, Kansas City was taking advantage of that, and the offensive line was blocking well. He was getting huge holes. Andrew Wiley continues to struggle in pass protection. It's a problem, and it might be, down the stretch here with a bunch of games that the Chiefs should be able to win. I think if they want to experiment with some other right tackles, it's something to look at. But as far as this game goes, I'm just concerned about this defense. It really feels like the Chiefs have to score a touchdown every time they have the ball, or the Bengals are going to just run up and down the field on them.
Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Does this feel at all like the AFC Championship game, but in reverse, where the Bengals had a chance, kicked a field goal before half, get those 3 points, but then the other team, this time it's Kansas City, coming up with a big play, getting the momentum going into halftime, and then you see that shift, come the second half. You guys think there's anything to this?
I mean, I don't know. I get it because of the Dunlap play at the end of the half. Like, I don't see it quite that way. I mean, the Chiefs aren't getting like if you look at the statistics of the game, you look at it and you go, well, the Bengals have 50 more yards and 2 more first downs. Yeah, but they also got the ball first and had the ball last. Like, that's going to happen. You're going to have a little bit of a discrepancy. The Chiefs right now, yards per play in this game, I mean, look, they're giving up 6.8, which stinks. 5.7 is not bad on offense. Like, they just need to get going. They've only had how many possessions in this game? I mean, they had a field goal, a punt, a touchdown, and then I'm not really counting the last possession where they basically just knelt on it. Like, you normally in a game of like 12 possessions. They had 3 possessions, which tells me, look, you've got to make every possession count second half of this game. If you're going to have a game, you're only going to have 7-8 touches of the ball, okay, which is probably about where they're going to end up. You got to make it count. And the flip side of that is defensively, one thing in this game, I am going to lose my crap if he does it one more time. If you're going to blitz in this game, you're going to get killed. You've got to help these kids on the outside. Look, it is not Joshua Williams' fault that he's getting beat one-on-one by Jamar Chase. He's Jamar freaking Chase. Like, you're going to get beat like that. Double Chase, give as much help as you can on Higgins. Like, I don't understand why they have this affinity for this soft zone bullshit in the first quarter. Then they go man, but it's like man in a way where you're leaving these kids completely by themselves. You got two safeties who, by the way, can't tackle for shit. You might as well put them in coverage. Like, that is my biggest frustration right now. Stop blitzing, double those receivers, and if you're going to blitz, run blitz. Fire it up in there. P. Ryan's not going to beat you to the outside very often. So I hope they make those adjustments. They've been very, very, very good in terms of making adjustments at halftime. Look, the bottom line is this game is going to come down to the last 30 minutes. They're right where they need to be. They're down 4 with the ball. But, like, they got to execute in the second half of this game. They have to find a way.
To me, Chris Jones has been an absolute difference maker on the defensive line, but someone else besides him needs to step up. He's getting consistently double teamed. He's getting close a few times, but you can only do so much when they're focusing and keying in directly on him. It was nice seeing Carlos Dunlap step up, but we need to see more. Whether that's Taylor Stallworth, who we're seeing get some play time, whether it's going to be Carlos Dunlap more often, Mike Dana, whether it's going to be George Karlaftis, who I think Karlaftis had a great play against Joe Burrow. It was a clean hit, but he let Joe Burrow know that he's there. But someone else outside of Chris Jones needs to get pressure. And you're right, it can't come from a blitzer.
Well, and real quickly, to that point, would anyone like to guess how many times the Chiefs hit Joe Burrow? Like as a passer, not when he was running?
I can think of
zero.
Yeah.
Oh, one. I was thinking one, but the penalty.
Yeah, didn't hit him one time. Did not hit him one time in the game. Like, yeah. He has no hits on him. Kelsey's not been targeted, or he's been targeted twice. There's no catches. But look, I got to tell you though, none of this shit matters statistically. You just got to win this game. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't care if Kelsey has one win. Find a way to win the game. You'd have 4 points with the ball. I mean, as bad as the defense has been, give them credit. Like, that's a big time stop down there. I mean, that's 3rd and inches on a play where 9 times out of 10, he falls over for a first down. They stuff him. And then on 4th, they don't jump into the neutral zone. They force a timeout. And then somehow Dunlap makes an amazing play and they get off the field. So now you got to move forward here. You got to move forward and get some points out of the first drive.
I really think the second half is about toughness for the Chiefs on both offense and defense. If they can come out and continue to run the football, and they need to make a few tough plays. But the Bengals have a really dynamic, explosive offense. They're not going to be able to completely come out and shut them down, but they need to make a couple of, toughness plays, a couple of big hits on a big reception down the field that dislodges the ball, those types of things, a big sack. I think if they can make a couple of those plays, they can win a tight ball game here. But I do think this one's going to come down to the wire, and I'll be really interested to see what kind of adjustments Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo will make at the half. That could be, look, that AFC Championship game, it came down to a small adjustment that the Bengals made that just gave the Chiefs fits, and the Chiefs weren't able to react. What do the Chiefs bring out of the locker room with their expert coaching staff? They have a really great coaching staff, so we're going to find out. All right, boys, before we go, after the game, is it a victory party? We drinking beer, or are we pissed off and angry?
I hope we win. I don't want to lose my mustache. I've been betting my mustache every single game so far this season. I want to keep it.
How's this one end?
My head says that they're going to find a way to lose this game because they're just, like, defensively, you can just see this coming. But I got to tell you, I think they always find ways to win games like that. Like, they just, either Mahomes goes crazy or, somebody makes a play. I'm going to pick them to win. I'm going to pick them to just, I picked them to win during the week because I thought Mahomes would just at some point, he'd just be Mahomes, and that would win them the game. I think they find a way to win the game. And if they lose, it's going to be agonizing. It's going to be some ridiculous, like 3rd and 12, PI across the field, but I'll pick them to win the game.
Well, hopefully the refs stay out of it in the second half. And for me, I think the Chiefs can eke this one out, but the defense has to grow up. This has to be the grow-up game for this Chiefs defense, because this is the kind of team they're going to face in the playoffs, and they don't really face another team like this for the rest of the season. All right, let's get out of here. Chiefs coming out. We'll see you after the game for the Chiefs post-game show.